Welcome back to Face Facts. I am Nick Face. We have another great show here planned with lots of talking about the Red Sox. We'll talk about the Celtics, hopefully an NBA Finals preview. We will also talk a little bit about the Patriots as they get ready for their next upcoming season. Joining me to my left today, we have Tom Smith back in the center square.
Center square. Back in the center. Welcome back, Phil.
Again.
And then we'll have the gong ready whenever you speak. And then we have Phil Healy back. You missed our last show.
Yeah.
And welcome back into you're the third banana.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Absolutely.
It's a delightful fruit.
Your voice is back this week, too.
My voice is back.
I was a little hoarse, right?
It turned into a really bad cold, actually. Comes the weekend, I was just hardly could speak.
I thought, well, I mean, to some that's great, but
it was a long weekend for us. So
for the show,
wasn't
here.
I'll tell you that.
Well, who were you just yelling at the TV at? And
No, I wasn't yelling at the TV, just kids.
Yeah.
But all worked out in the end.
Yeah,
I needed a megaphone,
He's
though.
the angry elf.
I needed a megaphone. Yeah, I am the angry elf. That's right.
That's all right.
Let's kick it off first. I want to start with the Boston Celtics. We have to start with the Celtics as they are one game away, folks, from heading to an unprecedented NBA Finals. Holy smokes. The Celtics won Game 5 back at the Garden. They are now 10-0 in the playoffs at home on their court. Amazing to me. I want to start with Phil, just to have your overall thoughts on what we saw from Game 5.
I think both teams played a weird game. Like the last game, like the Game 5 last night for Houston and Golden State was pretty bad.
Yep.
Well, I'd say like it was spurts of like some good play, and I didn't see all the C's game because I was up working here and also doing some other stuff, but I caught most of it. Listening to Max talk about Cheeto sandwiches and whatever other concoction he got.
Gotta say, I like the radio broadcast.
Oh, I
better
love
than
Grandy.
national. What I do?
I love Grandy.
I
and Max.
mute
Oh, and you put
ESPN.
on the,
I can't stand him. I just can't.
Well, who's doing? I like Van Gundy. I like him as.
He was horrendous
Was he
in
horrendous?
game. Oh my!
Yeah.
He was mute
I only
button
saw, like,
central.
I like the.
They have Mike Green,
Greenbaum or something.
Mike Green, and then Mark Jackson. Okay.
Mark Jackson's met some. I actually feel bad for him overall, karmically, because he actually was the guy, arguably, who brought Golden State to where they were, and then Steve Kerr took over, and maybe that got him over the hump. But I don't know. I just think it was like a timing thing. It was a weird firing for Mark Jackson. But I hear he wasn't connecting with the players, and that's probably what happened.
Yep.
But I don't know. But yeah, no, the C's, it was a weird game. Tatum was good. He could have been better. Jaylen Brown was doing very well in the first half, then he went ice cold. Because they say that he didn't shoot well at all. It's like, well, no, in the first half he shot really well, actually. And he was doing very well. He was attacking. But they just Cleveland either adjusted to him or he just kind of wasn't feeling the same way he was.
My biggest concern on player-wise performance is Terry Rozier.
Yeah, sure.
Rozier's had a terrible Eastern Conference Finals. Hasn't done really anything.
The first 2 games has been pretty good. Even like that last, like he's hit a couple of shots, but he hasn't been as electric as he's been. He's made plays, and defensively, he's like, as much as you want to say like him going like stupid that he's ISO on LeBron sometimes. He's done okay. Like he's done pretty good just like being there, being a body, and then going back and forth. Like there are other little things. Like if they're not scoring, they're either rebounding. Because he had a decent amount of rebounds, and he's a good
rebounds. They had a pretty decent
guard.
game on, but I just think as a whole, I think the Celtics were lucky that they got Game 5.
Oh, I agree.
Because
I agree.
The Cavs were just awful. They couldn't get out of their own way.
No.
LeBron was not spectacular. I think it was a down game. If you go and ask him how he thought he played. I mean, he had 24 points, but that's really not the LeBron that has to win ball games.
Well, for that team, sure.
Kevin Love had a decent performance.
It was like 14 points, and he had like
but everybody
10
else
boards
on there,
or something.
Tristan Thompson and the rest of the crew were just terrible.
Clarkson and Nance had pretty decent games, and I don't understand why they don't start. I don't understand. I know J.R. Smith plays better at home, but why Korver? This is like the national thing that is like the regurgitated take you'll get from us. It's just kind of like Korver should be in there for Smith most of the time because Korver is pretty decent. He might be a defensive liability, but he's not too bad. When they like double a team like Brown or others, he's pretty good there. J.R. Smith just seems like a waste of space away from home. But he's always been like that weird. We talked about this before, like before the series started.
Right.
Like how he's kind of like you're not really afraid of him. He's not that guy.
I'm not afraid of particularly anybody except LeBron on that team.
Tristan Thompson, I can get. Like, I'm afraid of him like getting a good rebound here or there, and he's, I guess, like 3 and 4, he was pretty decent, but
Yep.
I don't think. And even like Game 5, it wasn't bad, but it's just like. It's weird, like when they don't do anything, and then stuff just wasn't falling. Like you could say the same for the season Game 4, where
shooting 36%
competitive
from the field, it was very concerning to me, and the reason for it is the three. I can't stand when they sit back at the line and try making 3 after 3 after 3 and miss it. They missed like 9 in a row at one point, and I'm just yelling at my TV. What are you doing?
Drive to the basket.
Marcus Smart gets the ball, takes a 3. I'm like, oh dear God, here
Yeah.
we go again.
He had two.
He had two splashes.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were fantastic. It's like, oh
Yeah.
wow, nothing.
It's like,
but
oh,
bottom.
you know how to shoot, great, do it again,
But-
and you can't.
Yeah. No, he's better. Like when they're driving or posting, they're better in that.
Who are
regard.
you most confident on the Celtics with the ball?
Brown or Tatum?
I would say the same.
Yeah, but I mean, also Horford's not. Horford's a weird guy because he's almost as if he was like a fish turned into a man from the Dominican Republic. He just is this guy. Well, that's just where he's from. That's no real indication of any other characteristic. It's just this fish. Like you want to become an
I'll
NBA player,
express written
sure.
consent to Phil Hill.
Sure,
Okay.
which is fine. No, it's like, hey, like this some sort of like wizard guy or some sort of witch.
He's,
It's like,
he's
hey,
the Finding Nemo of the sea. Is that what we're
no,
saying?
it's just
Okay.
literally just a fish that, with the help of some sort of magic or esoteric force, was turned into a man, and now is an NBA player.
Playoff Al.
Yeah, playoff. He's been
Playoff
great.
Al.
Like sometimes he just kind of like he handles the ball and it's just
Now
weirdly.
I know you said you like Brown and Tatum the most from shooting.
I do, but I do like Al Horford in a lot of ways.
Like right now, playoff time. If Al has the ball, I just have this calming sense in me that says, "Oh, Al's got the ball."
well, no, yeah. If
You know what I mean?
If he's isolated and they throw it down to him in the post, it's great. Even
Yeah.
like he's open 3-pointer, like he's not bad. Like I'll have him take that shot. But I'm with you.
I would too.
I don't like when they're excessively doing it, but that's
No, I
how they
don't
spread
either.
the floor
Right.
sometimes.
Now we haven't heard Tom's thoughts on anything, and Tom's been quiet, I think, long
Yeah,
enough.
Tom, what do you think?
What do you think, Tom?
Gong.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching the hockey game because I didn't want to get yelled at for being getting the blame for the
Everybody
Celtics
thinks I
losing.
yell over here.
All right.
I'm not much of a yeller.
Yeah.
All right, well, sure.
We'll assess the video feed from
Yeah.
previous shows.
Oh, okay.
A yell
We'll have a
supercut.
highlight reel.
Yeah.
Old yeller over here.
Yeah, well, why not?
I mean, I just know they won. I was watching the hockey game again because I didn't want to be a jinx.
The Capitals.
The
and
Capitals and the Lightning game 7.
Ovechkin is in.
Ovechkin
way.
is in, but that's a topic for another discussion. We're still on basketball right now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's. I feel like once it gets down to the conference finals in the NBA, like I've said multiple times before, it's an officials game.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there are some series that should go 4 or 5 games, and they don't.
I have to. We have breaking news into the Face to Facts desk.
Oh, all
We're going
right.
to be the first to know this. According to a major league source, the Boston Red Sox have informed Hanley Ramirez this morning that he will be designated for assignment to open up a spot for Dustin Pedroia.
What? Why is Hanley designated? Why wouldn't it be Swihart?
What the heck?
Was Hanley been hitting
Because
well? Or?
Hanley's gone over 24, right? Is that what you said?
Oh,
Wow.
well, that's
Okay.
a big. I don't know about that.
Is this
but,
the first time I've ever had something like that happen on Face to Facts?
Oh, a breaking thing? Maybe. But it'll come back like a week later when you edit the episode. So
I
we'll
know.
see.
We're going to have to edit this quick.
no,
That's
that's crazy, man.
I know we were talking about
No,
basketball
go
on
with
that,
the
and
flow.
I hate
Go with
to
the flow.
change gears with it, but that's shocking.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, he hasn't been that bad, has he?
Wow. Not even a roster, not even a DL spot. I think I just changed my opinion of Alex Cora. in the Red Sox.
Wow.
Well, on the way here, he was talking about, I'm going to go off on us, Cora. He's still playing Hanley. Hanley's been batting 0 for 24.
right.
Unbelievable.
Hey, if it's has it been, and I imagine he's been DH or has he been first?
He's been at first base. He's been there. I hate
wow.
using my phone from stuff here,
No,
folks,
that's
but
all right.
that's
That's
something
crazy.
that definitely needed to be breaking news into there. So once again, we just learned that Hanley Ramirez will be designated for assignment by the Boston Red Sox. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. See you later, Hanley.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what? I mean, from there, someone gonna. I mean,
That means that Swihart stays,
yeah.
which I'm shocked with because I
Well,
thought
what's
they
he
were
gonna play? Is he gonna play first, or is
maybe
he?
they're gonna rotate him with first and with
Moreland.
Moreland.
Why don't you just put Moreland at first? I don't.
That just doesn't make.
Yeah.
That's weird. Something must have
Or
happened.
maybe they'll trade or maybe they'll. I don't know. Maybe they will trade Swihart and do something.
Something
else.
happened in the clubhouse.
But anyway, we just wanted to let you know on
Yeah,
on that shocking development that just came in. We will jump back into the Red Sox and talk about them after we continue to talk about the Celtics. So let's go
fine.
back in to dive in with them. I want to also talk about Tyronn Lue's comments that he had after the game about the Cavaliers and why they didn't particularly play so great. One of the things that he said was because the Celtics did not really incorporate much of a bench in Game 5, they were not prepared for the Celtics in the way they were trying to play the game, basically.
Well,
they
how much
eliminated
of the bench?
Yabusele
Okay.
in the rotation, so they only really played 7 people.
They played Smart and Morris.
Bain
were the
started,
other-
which
yeah.
I really liked. That was like a spark off the bench. Morris, a spark into the lineup, excuse
starting,
me.
yeah.
Morris came off the bench, and Marcus Smart came off the bench. That's the only guys that they used. Was that a factor in why Cleveland didn't play so great? Seems to me it was.
Well, as a coach, shouldn't
Because you couldn't play Korver, basically, in that rotation. That's why Korver wasn't in the game that much.
But as a coach, shouldn't you prepare for anything?
Absolutely. But that's what's telling me that Brad Stevens and how he's coached the Celtics here, I think Brad Stevens stole that game from what he wanted to do with that starting lineup that he had.
What Tyronn Lue
do.
wanted to do.
Tire the Cavs down, and boy, did they ever.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can put in Smart and you can put in Morris and you can take Baines in and out. Because but their bench isn't. Who else are they going to play? Yabusele, is that the only other? And maybe Monroe, but he hasn't really been in. Or who else could you really play off their bench? I'm trying to. No, I don't know.
It was B. Monroe, Yabusele.
You don't have Larkin. Semi Ojale.
But that's about it.
That's about it.
So
maybe 2 players he didn't play.
What a disgrace, really, of a comment for Lue to say that you weren't prepared for Yabusele?
But do you really think these things? I always take the press conference as like I'm just going to say stuff that you can take this and do whatever you want.
It wasn't just from him though. It was the other players saying, "Oh, we were surprised that the Celtics only went with a 7-man rotation."
Then that's stupid. They shouldn't be saying stuff like that.
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't really. But also, who cares?
That's not a championship team.
Well, they'll go out and play like.
That's just a getting the axe comment right there.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, that is throwing someone under the bus weirdly. Then they're not on the same page, or they are on the same page stupidly, and they just need to.
That just shows that
the next game.
We're in the locker room. This is what we're gonna say in the press conference when they ask us what went wrong.
Yeah, you can. I would say take it as you will, because it's not. It doesn't matter. You've still got to play the game. Whether you said it like that, all right. So they got that one game. They got 2 more games left, which they have to win. So, I don't know.
And again, as a coach, you're supposed to prepare your team for whatever could happen in the game.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. And maybe it's BSing everyone about it. But maybe it wasn't really prepared, and just just throw Korver in there. What do you got to lose? I mean, at that point you're down. At one point they were down 21, and they made runs with Clarkson and Nance, which was great, and he kept them in for a while, for a good amount of time. And even Clarkson went dry for a spell, but they got him some good minutes and some decent points. And I forget what the analytics of what the plus and minus was for them, but it was up there. And LeBron with those guys, with Clarkson and Nance, and probably get maybe Thompson and Love.
Yep.
It's pretty good. It's not a bad or even just throw a Korver in there, go smaller. I mean, there's stuff you can do. I think it seems to me that Cleveland, when they want to try, they'll try in a way. Not to take anything away from the Seas, because I think they did what they had to do. You shouldn't, and even if you are stupidly giving up games in the playoffs, you're just elongating this thing where these guys are tired. They played X amount of games throughout the year, and it's some people and pundits say you just need a day to rest it off. It's no, sometimes there's a bump and bruise or your ankle is still hurting, and any time you can get off is great. Any time to heal up is good. And who knows? I don't know. LeBron's tired and he isn't, but that's a whole nother bag of bones.
let's see what our thoughts are here if the Celtics can take Game 6 in Cleveland. What are your thoughts?
I'd be.
They're 1-7 right now, I believe, on the road. 1 or 6, 1 or 7, something like that.
It's up there, yeah.
What do you think?
I'd be surprised either way. I think.
You'd be surprised if they did win or did lose?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it could honestly go either way. I think the Celtics like playing at home. We've seen that. I wouldn't say that they would throw the game away just to come back home and win it in 7. I think Brad Stevens has been an all-star coach. I think he's been a coach that most teams would want in the playoffs.
Right.
But I think LeBron is going to want to prove something and come back in Game 6 and win in Cleveland and take it back to Boston and try to win 2 games in a row to win the series.
What do you think, Phil?
Yeah, I think you should be afraid of a LeBron in a Game 7, but you shouldn't be afraid of everyone else on that team in a Game 7. I agree with Tom. Like, this is the night where, LeBron will throw everything at you in the kitchen sink, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I mean, he kind of did that in Game 2 when you weathered the storm and only down by 4 the first quarter, and I think it was like 7 at halftime. But Celtics take a punch, they hang in there, and they just keep going. It's all about longevity, rolling with it. They could easily win tonight if they just made layups
I feel like
that they
they
didn't
need to
make
prove something
from
tonight.
4. Sure.
They need to prove that they can win on the road. And let's look at it this way. If the Celtics want to win the finals, they've got to win on the road because Golden State or Houston both have, I believe, home court.
Yeah, I think they do too. I think it's based purely on record, and they have a better record.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a big factor here, as we've seen. I know you haven't been as big on what home court does. I think in the NBA it definitely separates things.
It can, but
I do.
When you know when you
The
got to win,
Celtics
you have to
are
do
a
it.
tremendously different team when they are at home.
Well, they set the record for most wins at home in the playoffs, correct?
Yep.
I think
No,
they
it's one
matched
more
it.
win. It's
One
one
they
more
matched
win.
it.
They need to match. They need to get 11. If it's
Yeah.
11, it's tied, and then after 11, they'd get the record.
Yeah.
It was a previous record held by Golden State. As a
Oh
matter of
yeah, that's
fact.
right. Which actually just ended. I don't know how
A couple
many.
games ago, didn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Because Houston won at Golden State.
Yeah, they won. Yeah, that's right. They won a Golden State
Yep.
Game 4.
Game 4 was won there.
Yeah.
So, I personally think that the Celtics are going to lose to, Game 6. That's my thought. I think that the Celtics come back to home and they win again for Game 7. Could I be wrong? Sure. I do think that the Celtics need to prove that they can win on the road. I would love that to happen. But I'm thinking I'm going to stick with my prediction and say the Celtics will take it in 7 games. I don't think the Cavaliers will have enough in the tank to take down the Celtics, who are just so poised and ready to play when they're at home. Especially in a Game 7, that atmosphere is going to be electric.
It'll be crazy. It'll be fun. It's been fun this
And I
whole
just
run.
think LeBron's. I really think LeBron is done with Cleveland. I really think he is.
Yeah, whether he's done
and
with
it
Cleveland
makes
is
you
almost
think where
immaterial.
would he go? Where would he go for next year?
There are a whole bunch of. I think he wants to go West Coast, but he might go. He
I
might
keep
be
hearing
thinking
Philly, but
yeah.
I keep saying to myself, why would Philly do that with how much youth they have right now?
Yeah,
It almost seems like they don't have a spot.
Well, no, you could easily plug him in, like him, Reddick, Simmons, because he could play power forward. He doesn't have to play like guard.
Right.
And I think he's playing power forward now, or just regular forward. But he's a big. You can play a positionless basketball kind of thing. But I mean, you have Embiid, so you kind of have to put him at center.
Mm-hmm.
So can't really. That guy is crazy big,
Mm-hmm.
and just a funny, weird guy. But
You hear
yeah.
Houston's name out there too.
Sure. I mean, that would be stacking the deck. That'd be crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's no one. Who can compete with that? But I mean, if Paul gets
Would
healthy,
if
I don't know.
LeBron went to Houston, would they be better than Golden State?
Yeah, probably. I mean, they'd be enough. I mean, they might be better right now with who they have, or it might be better at this point in time. It all depends. It's never like a contiguous kind of thing. It's just how are they at the moment, and the
Well,
seeds.
What I see with LeBron is LeBron isn't really a team player. So you could stack the deck in Houston if you really want to, but is it really going to be worth it? Because I don't see him as a team player.
And will Harden share the ball as much? Like, what's the deal? And maybe
See,
LeBron won't care. I don't know.
I don't think Harden might want him there. I don't.
That
So it
could
makes
be
you
a
think.
thing.
I think LeBron goes to the Lakers. to
Yeah,
tell
I
you
was
the
about to
truth.
say,
I think
LA.
the Lakers are the team that he goes to.
Him and Lonzo Ball, they have
Yeah.
the same, I think, agent, or they have the same,
Yeah.
like, not agent, I think they have business manager or something.
It's the same business manager.
And I think that might be, but people are talking about a conflict of branding or some weirdness. But I could definitely see him going to LA.
Yep.
Because he also has a house in LA.
Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants Hollywood.
Good.
So that's our thoughts here of what the Celtics look like. I think it's going to end up being Houston, to tell you the truth, in the finals here. Which, if it
Might
is
be.
Houston, I'm going to give the Celtics the edge here, and the
Really?
Celtics are going to win the NBA Finals.
Could I mean, I think it'll be a. I think it'll,
Can you believe? I can't believe
either
I'm
way.
saying that. But
Either way, I think they can make make it a series.
I think it would be tougher with Golden State, though.
it's
I
just
think you're
been
right.
such a storybook season. Why have the storybook close?
Yeah, I mean Durant is. I mean Harden isn't as much of a dominant force as Durant. Durant had 29
That's
points
like a
last
three-headed
night.
dragon out there.
Yeah, and they're only going to get a little better. Like they're banged up too, and Iguodala
Now,
if he doesn't come back,
Houston has a
that's
3-2
trouble.
lead, in case some people out
Yeah.
there didn't know. Chris Paul got hurt, looked pretty badly at the end of Game 5,
yeah.
which looks like he could be out for a bit. That's why I'm saying right here, if Houston can sneak one away from Golden State, who has to win 2 games, I give the Celtics the edge.
Yeah, I don't know if Houston can do
And
it.
I don't know if Chris
isn't
Paul
around.
comes back or not, but
Yeah.
that's a big loss right there, and that dramatically impacts their
Well,
lineup.
I don't think they can beat Golden State if he's not there.
I don't
'Cause
either.
That's how they won. That's pretty much how they won the last 2 games, with Chris Paul playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Because Harden kind of disappeared
Right.
in the second half-ish. So, what are you gonna do?
So that's our thoughts here on the NBA. It's been quite an exciting ride so far.
It's been
and we're
fun.
going to hope that it continues. So again, the Celtics need to take just one game. They have a 3-2 lead right now against the Cavaliers. They're going to look to get the final win in the series for Game 6. But if they can't, they'll come back home on Sunday night. Or actually, it might be Sunday afternoon.
I think it's Sunday during the day.
I think it's Sunday during the day at like 3:30.
It's a long weekend,
for
who
Game
cares?
7. So
Yeah.
prepare yourself,
Yeah.
no matter what. One of the reasons we like Tom sitting in the center seat, is he's very good with breaking down our hockey analysts. So we have a finals right now that's coming next week that will be starting. Please let our audience know who it's going to be.
So Washington Capitals, Vegas Golden Knights starts on Monday at 8 o'clock.
We've been right about Vegas. Vegas was the team that I thought was going to get there. I had the Bruins because, of course, I'm a homer and I want the Bruins to win. But I thought it was going to be Tampa. I was very pleasantly surprised that it wasn't Tampa. So,
I
said it right here on
tried
the show.
to tell him.
but the reason
who's
why
your
I went with
I had
Tampa
Washington.
versus
right.
Washington is because Ovechkin has typically always choked
Yeah,
in
that's
these
been
Eastern
his-
Conference
yeah.
finals. So kudos to Ovechkin for getting to the spot he hasn't got to in his career. So that's a nice thing to see.
Yeah, hasn't been there in his career. First time in his career. First
awesome.
time for the team in 20 years. I don't think there's a single player on the team that was on the team back when they made it to the
Was
Stanley
it
Cup
98?
Finals.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
against the Avalanche. No, not the Avalanche. It was against the Detroit Red Wings, right?
It was the Red Wings.
They're crazy.
Red Wings, yeah.
It was the Red Wings. Red Wings are crazy good in the late
won,
because
90s.
like,
the Red
4,
Wings used
right?
to be the Western Conference back then.
Yeah. Well, they won like 4, or
Them
2
and
or
the
3
Devils
in a row.
were the teams to beat back in the 90s
Yep.
and the early 2000s.
Martin Brodeur days.
Yeah.
Yep.
Overall thoughts. What are your expectations?
I mean, if you want to jump on the hockey bandwagon, this is the time to do it. This is probably the biggest Stanley Cup final in NHL history, and for the first time in a while. I mean, my last memory of the Stanley Cup final is when Ray Bourque won it after 20 seasons.
Uh-huh.
And
With the Avalanche, right?
Yep, with the Avalanche. And I remember it very clearly because I was a big Ray Bourque guy. I was very
It was
upset.
2001, right?
2001, yeah. He got traded in the either at the deadline or
He got
before
traded at the deadline,
Yeah,
yeah.
he got traded at the deadline, and I was very upset. And
Oh.
and then I had happy tears at the end of the season when he really got to lift the cup. But yeah, this like I said, it's the first time in 20 years that the Capitals have made it. First time in Ovechkin's career. First season, inaugural season for the Vegas Golden Knights. I said from the start, right. I think it was before their first game of the season or sometime during it. Whenever it was, I called. I said that the Vegas Knights were going to win the cup. We'll see if that holds up. I just don't see the Capitals having enough energy to pull it off. The Knights have had, I think we'll have 8 days off before the first game. They're a very energetic team. They're not a quick team, but the Capitals have had a long playoff series in the entire playoffs.
They've had a couple that won 7 games, right?
I think, yeah,
So
7.
the semifinals won.
Against the Penguins, it went 7. Against the Lightning, it went 7. I believe against Columbus, it went 6.
Okay.
I just knew there was a different animal in Ovechkin as soon as they made it past Pittsburgh, and that's why as soon as Tampa beat Boston, I said it was going to be Washington.
You think it's Vegas?
I think Vegas is going to win the cup.
It's Vegas, too.
I need to hold my prediction.
Is it going to be a quick series?
There we go.
I don't see it going 7. And I think it's going to be 5 or 6. I would be shocked if it didn't go at least 5. But I don't think it's going to be 7. Like I said,
I'm not thinking it's going to be 7 either. I think this goes 5 or 6 games max. I think that Vegas wins the Stanley Cup. And when is the last time an expansion team in any sport in their first season won?
I don't know.
The
I
entire
don't think it's
thing?
ever happened.
I don't think it's ever happened.
Yeah.
I know in baseball it hasn't happened.
Basketball hasn't. Well, no, I don't think it has. Well, no, I don't think it has.
I don't
I'm trying to
think it
think
has.
either Golden State or Portland, and I don't think that happened.
So that's our thoughts on that. I think that
May I say, I'm going to reverse it, and, just to contradict everyone.
you're going to go Capitals.
I'm going to go Capitals in 7.
All right, Phil.
Because-
All right.
Always one on the table.
Knowing virtually nothing about the, well, no, something. I don't know, just one for Ovechkin, that's all. As exciting as this Vegas team seems, we're in a good position. Like, whoever wins this, it's
We
kind
don't
of,
care.
Yeah, well, it's also kind of
It's
a
kind
nice,
of cool.
It's a
kinda
cool
cool.
story,
You can root
though.
for both
But
teams.
as a hockey fan, it's like one of those Stanley Cup Finals that you've always wanted to see. Like, and I mean, a couple quick factoids too is in the series. So after the 7th game, the Capitals have played a total of 102 games throughout the entire season, including the regular season and the playoffs. And in those 102 games, Braden Holtby did not have a single shutout up until Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And then he got his first 2 in Game 6 and Game 7. And the Capitals ended up holding Tampa Bay scoreless for 2.5 games, literally almost on the dot. It was 159 minutes and 27 seconds, which is basically 2 full games and half a game. So
Here they come. Here come my
so-
Caps.
Yeah.
It's
My newly adopted Caps.
but I think there's nothing holding Vegas back right now, and
Does Vegas have game 1 and 2? Or is it Washington?
I think Washington could take game 1.
I mean on the home ice.
Oh, Vegas has home.
That's
home
what I thought.
Ice. So
So it's 2-3.
And that starts when? When is the Stanley?
starts Memorial Day.
Monday.
Monday.
Okay.
They
Monday,
do it
Memorial
the
Day.
same way, like
Vegas is
2-3-2.
going to be rocking.
2-2-1-1-1.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah, 2-2-1-1.
I always like the 2-3-2, but
But Winnipeg had home ice advantage in this series, and Vegas ended up losing that first game after being on home ice, but they won at home after having like a week plus off. So I think Vegas could end up winning game 1 and most likely game 2, and maybe the Capitals win the next 2, but I mean, I don't think they have enough left in the tank.
Right.
So it'll be interesting.
Well, there's our Stanley Cup preview right there. Again, we have the Vegas Golden Knights and the Washington Capitals, which will begin on Monday for Memorial Day. So enjoy that. We're going to jump back into baseball right now. We had to interrupt our baseball segment, our basketball segment, excuse me, that we were talking about with the Celtics to start our show. We had breaking news that came into our Face the Facts set, excuse me here. We have news out of Fenway Park this morning that Hanley Ramirez has been released by the Red Sox.
So he was released,
designated for assignment, which is basically a release.
Sure. Oh, okay.
That is pretty shocking to me. So
but I thought he's still kicking around, but people can pick him up. Or?
People could pick him up or something. I don't think anybody's going to pick up that money that's left on the table. So
yeah.
I think the Red Sox are going to flat out release him.
Wow. That's
from
a short
the team.
leash.
I'm shocked. If I've looked like I've been out of it since we started the show, I'm like, what is going on here? The reason for this is that Dustin Pedroia comes back today to the Red Sox lineup.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be Hanley that was going to be the one that was released. I thought Blake Swihart was going to be the one that was going to get released. So I'm flat out shocked, and in a way, I disagree with the move. And I'm not the biggest Hanley guy on the earth, but when Hanley was going really good in April, he was hitting about 300 or so.
Yeah.
It looked like a motivated Hanley is a good Hanley. This month of May rather, has been a completely different story. Hanley's hit into 5 double plays that have been rally killers this month so far. He's got his average down to, I believe, 250-ish right now. He's been 0 for the last 24. So that was surprising to me. So I want your thoughts. What do you think about this move?
I think it's a statement maker.
What kind of a statement is being...
I think it's a statement saying that, hey, this guy has been around for a few seasons with us. He started. I mean, he was in the Red Sox system before he even came up into the majors.
Yep.
Yeah.
2004, he was with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
So
I've never seen him. Yeah.
It's a.
He was less HGH'd.
It's a big. it's a big statement because I mean, it's a guy that's been around for a while, and you don't want to. I mean, it's just saying that, hey, you might not be able to stick around for a while, and it's saying that we want to keep our young guys, and we want to try to keep the guys in the system and get them started on the starting in games.
I'm just looking at the different messages here, and the overall tone here for...
I'm glad you're listening to what Tom said.
A lot of people
I was getting distracted.
Yeah.
These people are more important, no offense.
Thanks. Gong.
People are shocked.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
an absolute shocking statement here.
Well, I always
Here's
thought
a tweet from Nesson's Tom Karen. He goes, the Red Sox have designated for assignment by the Reds. Hanley Ramirez has been DFA'd by the Red Sox. Made an 0 for, it's actually 22, so I apologize for saying 0 for 24. Grounded to 3 double plays in that stretch of that 0 for 24. He's had 9 grounded to double plays this season, tied for 3rd most in the MLB. The vesting option was looming for him. He had a $22 million option that was vested if he had 540 plate appearances.
How many does he have right now?
And he was close to it. I mean, he would have been close. He would have got it.
Like this year.
This year. He was at about, I think, 200 or so plate appearances.
Why cut him now?
So
like,
far.
why does $22 million matter to you right now? Like, I mean, I guess he's not doing that well.
Well, you have a lot of players that are going to become free agents at the end of the season. So
as part of the DFA, just so people know, you get 7 days to trade that player. If the player is not traded within those 7 days, he's flat out released. That's why I said back to you
I didn't.
that
all right.
I find it very hard to believe that someone is going to trade with the Red Sox to take on Hanley Ramirez.
Pick him up.
Because you can get him at the league minimum if he's released, which is $500,000.
Yeah, no, which he's worth. Surely, if he.
Yep.
Wow, that'll be a good pickup for someone.
Just goes to show that you don't know who's next.
You don't know who's next. I did not see that coming.
Wow.
I saw Swihart being released or designated because they don't have a spot for him. Now, with Pedroia being back, I think this helps the Red Sox team a lot. I'm not the biggest Pedroia fan. You know that. We've talked about this. The little leader is back.
Which I thought you were finding a kinship with him.
But we've
Both
seen
in
so
size
much.
and
We've already
attitude.
seen such a sample size with Nunez and other guys filling at second base.
Yeah.
They can't do it. Pedroia is by far, that glove was so missed when he was away. Not the bat, per se, but the glove.
His bat was decent last year.
His bat was decent, and him being back into the lineup will definitely help the Red Sox. They need some balance with him being there.
Because what was he coming back from? I forget. What surgery?
Knee surgery.
Oh, well, yeah.
So he had knee surgery that was being done. That was about a
Jeez.
7-month procedure, so back when he got it done, he said 7 months, and it's been really 7 months of the day that we were right on it. What I also think this move with Pedroia being back helps here, too, is with some depth. Now they can make sure that Nunez can float around the diamond a little bit. He can play it short to give Bogarts a day. Devers is somebody that now there's a little bit of competition here. Nunez can return back to his position where he's most comfortable with at third base. So if Devers continues to not hit and make really blunders of plays in the field, Nunez can go right over there, and that's technically where he's most comfortable with. So I like that move. Pedroia also being back also helps the lineup with Benintendi. Benintendi has gotten better as the season has gone on. He's been in that 2 spot. I drop him down in the lineup, though. I put Pedroia back to his comfortable number 2 spot. I go Mookie, Pedroia, Bogarts. Those would be my 3. And then you have J.D. Martinez in your 4 spot. Moreland goes to 5, and then you can balance out the rest of the lineup any way that you kind of would like. But what a telling move right here this was.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Changes a lot of opinions on Alex Cora.
And I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Had to get him started.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You know,
why not?
I want, before I jump in here,
dear.
how would you grade Alex Cora as the manager so far with the Red Sox?
Fantastic. No, I don't. As much, I haven't been following as much. I mean, it seems like he's kept them together, and they had a fantastic start, and they kind of wavered off a little bit because no one really could sustain that unless you're the Yankees with who they have. And I don't know, I guess he's been doing okay. I've been hearing criticism here and there, but he doesn't have much of a bullpen.
Yep.
His hitting's been pretty decent. His starting pitching started out pretty well, but he also has been dealing with, anytime you're dealing with David Price, it seems, that's a whole nother job,
right.
Another weird thing. And you've had pitchers come down to earth. So I think he's done decently. Upon looking at the surface, I think he's done a pretty good job.
What do you give him for a grade? A, B, C, D, F.
I'll give him a B+, A.
Okay.
I'll give him that for right now. To me, it's always too early. I know it's 2 months. Pretty much 2 months.
almost
being
there,
almost
going on to the 3rd.
Yeah, going on to because June. June's next week.
It's about the halfway point when you hit June, right around there.
Yeah, June to July is like the halfway because it's like an 80-month season. So it's crazy.
I will say that I think the trial is done.
Even the trial. With
the trial was seeing how things will work. I mean, we got a pretty decent sample size here to see kind of what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts before I jump in?
Well, it's funny that you brought up
We're gonna make a big
David
splash.
Price. Since the last time you were on the show, he's thrown 2 complete games.
Yeah, no, he against Toronto or was it
Davey
Toronto?
Tinglefingers.
What, Tinglefingers?
Davey Tinglefingers.
And he didn't get it. He actually had that
With the
nickname
fortnight
early
down.
growing up, which was very bizarre because of a priest he knew. But just a priest.
That's
and a
my
kid,
new nickname for
priest
him,
and a kid
Davey
joke.
Tinglefingers.
Tinglefingers?
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
No, he definitely done better. But I mean, he got to so that all more reason to support the argument that he had to either tell him to do something like stop messing around, like play games, but just don't do it. Like if you start cramping up, stop it, you fool, and just ice it up and do something.
I would have to give him C+, B-.
What a harsh grader.
There's just some things that I've seen that I don't like that I wouldn't. I mean, not that I would be a better
Give
manager.
us some examples.
But the rotating lineup, like just whoever's hot, playing hot, throw him in the lineup. Like J.D. Martinez is batting over 400 or just below 400 when he's actually playing in the field. When he's DHing, he's batting under 300. That's a telltale sign. Throw him in the field. I know he's not the greatest glove in the outfield, but Jackie Bradley isn't the greatest bat at the plate, so
Here we go.
but
My buddy.
But I mean, who would you rather be hitting in the lineup?
That's
The
a
guy
tough
that's
one,
hitting
yeah.
400 when he's playing in the field, or the guy that's hitting under 200 and playing in the field? And that's just one example. Another example is letting David Price opt to not go against the Yankees. That's another stupid thing that a manager could do. There's some bullpen decisions that, I mean, there's just the relief pitchers that shouldn't be in the game for as long as they are, and those are my examples.
I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to give him a C, and I'm going to be harsh on it.
Harsh
middle,
grade. Yeah, hypocrite.
He went from
an A, with a lot of difference of opinion here, which I
descending
love.
order right here. Descending order.
It's kind of goes like that. We got really good, and then the bell curve.
Well, I wouldn't say really good. I would just, and this is
Phil's just going
B
based
plus
on what
is-
he's
B
seen.
plus
yeah,
is pretty
exactly.
good.
Just I'm not.
I'm going to cite examples
I have a life,
personally
is what
on.
I'm saying.
Oh, that's
So I
true.
can't watch.
That's true. That's true.
I don't really.
Wow,
I really
we don't have
to tell you
all
the
right,
truth,
I guess
to
we're
tell-
playing
I
Fortnite.
want- I'll tell you the
It's
truth.
not much of a life.
I
It's a
follow
life.
a lot of it from Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't really have the time to sit there and watch.
You can't watch every game every
You
night.
can't.
That's insane.
It's impossible to do it.
Well, you can if
So,
you're getting paid for it, but even then you're like, kill me.
Exactly.
It's
Especially when it's Johnny Gomes and Dave O'Brien.
like, I go.
Oh, he's a gnome. He's a gnome.
I both love and hate him. He's a weird. We get it, Johnny. We get it.
Here's why I give Cora a C. And a lot of the same opinions here of what Tom has. I disagree on the David Price thing. I think David Price, the issue starts there with him not being mentally prepared to start. He has voices in his mind that go off thinking about how he could be badly hurt. Because think about it. He really has never had an arm issue ever in his life. His arm has usually always been fine.
Oh, he's never had.
He needed, back in April, some sort of an MRI to tell him his arm was fine. Because I think the tingling fingers thing that happened against the Yankees, something goes off in his mind saying, all right, something's not right here. Maybe he held back.
Yeah.
He held back from maybe over pitching or trying to go out there and thinking he was hurt. So I am happy that they got the results that they did back from him, but they should have done this back at the beginning of the season because I think it would have cleared his mind knowing that he was okay. The things I disagree here with Alex Cora with is he's too much of a people pleaser. As a people pleaser, he's too scared to go up to Jackie Bradley and say, you stink. You're going to sit on the bench until you learn how to hit the baseball.
Well, didn't he do that though?
No, not really.
Well, he didn't play him for a
Jackie,
little bit.
we're going to sit you down for 3 days, and we're going to make sure that you're okay, and then you can come back and hit okay.
But does the baby talk work when he does it with him?
I don't think so.
All right.
I don't think so.
Good.
He wipes their butts too much.
Someone's got her a little chase.
Somebody needs to get in there and run the asylum the way it's supposed to be run.
But
there needs to be fear, but there also has to be middle ground there. It's fine if you want to be, friendly with everybody. That's fine.
You are a weird little tyrant sometimes.
Well,
I am.
He has my vote for Red Sox manager.
You have to have a balance.
Yeah,
you
sure.
have to set the tone in there. You can't be over friendly with them because what's going to happen is you're going to create an atmosphere that has too much of that family love in there.
I think part of it is he's been teammates with some of the players that are still on the roster.
And that's fine. I like that approach. But when going gets tough and these guys
think
don't
Petey's the only
produce,
one, right?
he gets too loyal and too locked into them. Jackie Bradley should never have touched the lineup for 2 weeks after he was hurt. Phantom DL him. Tell him, you're not going to play until you learn how to hit a baseball. Missing 90-mile-an-hour fastballs down the middle of the plate shows me that there's a problem. And that means he needs to go hit the batting cage and figure out what his adjustment he needs to make to get going. The other move that I disagree with here, how can you go to Mitch Moreland and tell him, you're not going to play? Hanley's going to play over you. Jackie's going to play over you, even though you're hitting 400 and just hitting the cover off the ball. You put your best lineup forward. I don't care who it is. I don't care if Brock Holt's hitting 700. Put him in the lineup.
But you think we also have to think they're playing he's playing the long haul, trying to see what he can get from people because sometimes you play someone into a better position. And I don't blame you about Jackie Bradley. I didn't know how long he kept him out because I remember one of the episodes we talked about, he actually benched him or didn't play him for.
He was out after the Yankees, one of the Yankees games. He was out of the series, I want to say, for a bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He
But
came
not
out
long
this
enough.
week after the benching. He was out for about 4 games. He came out he's played every game since then on Tuesday.
How's he been?
3 for 11.
Well, that's actually
It's
not.
better.
It's
He
better.
had 2 good games, which
Just under
he had
300.
2 games. He had 1 game, which was Tuesday, where he had 2 hits in them. Looked pretty good. But since those 2 hits have gone on, again, it's the same approach is going on. Jackie Bradley is who he is. So when the media comes out and says, "Oh, he's going to get hot at some point," people don't understand that if you take away 2 months, one of them was June 2016, and another one was last May, when he was hitting like 350, 400 around there. Jackie Bradley is a 215 hitter, career hitter. Yet he continues to be a starting center fielder in baseball.
I think we know why, though.
It's the glove.
Yeah,
yes,
the
the glove is the
amazing.
upside. That's definitely something that they got to play out there, which I understand. The glove, he's one of the best defensive center fielders in the game. Never taken that away from him. But you have to produce. You have to hit the ball. They have the worst lineup in the league, 7, 8, and 9. Black holes in the lineup.
Because who you have? Yeah.
You have Nunez there. You have Swihart. Well, I'm not Swihart. You have Vasquez or Leon. Leon's starting to get hot, so he's going to get more playing time. And then you have Bradley. Those are 3, pretty much automatic outs at your lineup. You have to be different. There was a play this week I want to talk to you guys about with, I don't know if you heard me talk about it or whatnot, but Jackie Bradley had a nice hit into the gap. I believe it was either Tuesday night. No, it was Wednesday night. That was one of the other 3 hits. Nunez round second, on his way to third, coming in for home. Doesn't slide, stands up, out by a mile. Whose fault is that?
Well, he's got a slide, doesn't he?
He's got a slide. Whose fault is that, though? Who do you lie that on?
The on-deck batters.
Thank you.
Or whoever scores before
you.
you is supposed to tell you.
Christian Vasquez is supposed to tell Nunez what he's supposed to do. That goes for anybody who's on the on-deck circle. If a play's close at home, tell him what to do. Either hit the corner, go around, slide, all these different scenarios. He was out to lunch. Didn't do anything on that play. And it was kind of disgusting to see because the base running has continued to be horrendous for the Red Sox. So I blame some of that right there on Cora, but I also look at the players. You have to hold them accountable. Benintendi is one of the worst base runners in the league. Hanley was one of the worst base runners in the league. Those things have to change from the top. You have to have a different philosophy and a different style. If you go and get thrown out and you're stupid on the bases, then you know what? You're not in the lineup the next day. Something along those lines where you have to hold people accountable. And that's what I think Alex Cora has a hard time doing. He can't hold the players accountable right now because he's too afraid that if they get mad, they're going to turn on him and it's going to create a toxic environment. That's my approach with it.
Do you think also it could be, just to throw it out there too, that who else can he put in there?
I give Blake Swihart a chance here. I mean,
Well, I mean,
why
that-
is
then-
Swihart is basically your 25th man on the roster, and he doesn't play.
Yeah. And he's not.
They've ruined
not a
Blake
bad
Swihart.
player.
He's
They
basically.
told him he's going to be in left field. They said, oh, you're going to move around and be a utility. They don't even use him. And that's why he has no value. And I think that's why the Red Sox didn't flat out want to release him, because they know they're not going to get anything in return. So my question right here is, what are they going to do? Where's he going to play?
With him?
Because now that Hanley's released, Swihart's still here. What are the Red Sox going to do to get Swihart in the lineup to show that he's a Major League Baseball player?
DH him every now and again because you could put him in and just have JD and who does he play, center or left or?
JD, you move to left.
Yeah, and then put
Mookie would be in right.
Primarily, you would
And
put
Benintendi
either
in center.
Benintendi in center or
Benintendi's
Mookie
pretty
in
good.
center, and then have Mookie in right or something along those lines. Have Moreland be at first base.
Yeah.
Your DH then ends up becoming Swihart.
Yeah, utility like just switch your DH you can switch it out every.
I don't want to give up on Swihart.
No,
But Cora is
that's
so
what makes-
stubborn
I
that
like
he
him.
won't give him any starts behind the plate because pitchers are so comfortable with throwing to Vasquez and
Well, you
Leon.
say that like that's such a throwaway thing.
I think it's ridiculous. Whoever catches back there, you should be comfortable with, no matter
but
who
I mean,
it is.
like we didn't have it. Maybe we
Personal
did.
catchers shows me that these players are pampered.
Well, okay, maybe a little bit, but I mean, don't you think you have to? You say pampered, but you also can talk about cater to someone who performs better when they're with someone like Veritek back in the day. I mean, Pedro always preferred Veritek over anyone else.
Or look at Tim Wakefield. He always preferred Doug Mirabelli as his catcher, which I get. But there's too much of this love and connection to, oh, well, if Chris Sale's pitching, Sandy Leon's got to catch. If Rick Porcello's pitching, oh, Vasquez has to catch. He's more comfortable with it. Be comfortable with what you got.
What are they going to do?
They should be comfortable throwing to all three catchers on the team.
What are they going to do? Chris Sale goes to another team. They're going to send Sandy Leon right along with him.
Exactly.
That's the tag. You got to do it.
Like, it's ridiculous.
No, but they'll figure it out. But I mean, sure. And if the
don't take all season to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, no, but I mean, just like if someone gets traded, they'll figure it out some other.
Right.
Like the pitch, whatever. And whether they're I mean, does it ultimately? How badly does it hurt the team? Like. That's the question.
You have to look at the numbers on that. I know
there
is a difference in numbers with, see, if you look at Sandy Leon, if you look at every pitcher across the board, the only one that doesn't throw better with Sandy Leon catching is Drew Pomerantz.
Okay.
You going to cater to Pomerantz? I wouldn't.
No one cares about Pomerantz.
Nobody does.
No one cares about Drew.
Say it again.
They catered to Wakefield but I mean, Wakefield is a different situation.
That's a different situation with the knuckleball. Yeah. That's a different situation with it. You still got to have somebody that's comfortable with it. But I think all five pretty much throw.
But I also think they don't have like a regular catcher.
They really don't.
And that's kind of a big thing.
They really don't.
You have 5 pitchers, you have 2 catchers, and every other pitcher switches with every.
Your catcher's sitting on the bench and not playing. That's Swihart.
Yeah,
but you just haven't given him a chance.
Leon, Swihart, and Vasquez.
Correct.
But the two other catchers aren't hitting right now. So
yeah, that's. What you say, Leon?
It's just baffling to me why Cora just won't give him a chance.
I think he did. Didn't he give him a chance behind?
He's not caught at all.
I thought he caught at least 1 or 2 games or something.
Nope.
No, he came in as a pinch hitter.
He came in mop-up duty against the Rangers when it was like 12-0 Rangers.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the kid because he's got talent. And you know what? It looks to me like that talent that he's shown may outshine Vasquez and Leon, but because the pitchers are so pampered and they want certain things done, Cora's afraid to put somebody else back there. Give him a chance, please. Just please.
Well, I'm going to say right here, I think Swihart is a jerk. I think he needs to get his act together. I don't.
Unbelievable.
Mr. Anti everything else we say.
I'm at the other end.
Very quickly before we wrap up our show, I wanted to ask you your opinion. I think this is just the media pretty much overblowing this situation going on with the Patriots. But the Patriots had their offensive conditioning OTAs going on. Not mandatory, but good participation has always happened from the likes of Tom Brady and Gronkowski. Is this a big deal or no?
I'm gonna say yes because I just wanted to hear Phil say no. I mean, who cares? Like if the guy wants to spend time with his family instead of going to optional training sessions, then by all means go for it. He's been on the team for 17 years now, and you're gonna cry about him not going to an optional thing, then you really don't understand Boston sports.
I think it's completely overblown. That's just my thought. Do you have a different opinion?
No, I mean, I'm kind of, this might shock you, I'm in kind of the same breath. I mean, I think it's, and as we get older, as I get older and we talk, we have fun talking about this stuff, and I give you as much guff as I can, because I think sometimes, I mean, but you're also very passionate about what you're saying, which is nice. But there are some people who do this for a living who really rip into, like a Brady or someone else, who, rip into all he's on. He's a public figure, and he has more money than God, and it's just kind of like he has nothing to worry about. But at one point, like, how much do you need to do as a sports figure to grant yourself a right of pay? Like, I'm not going to go to the thing I've gone for my whole career for this one season, because you know what? This might be the last one, and, I just don't want to do it. And I'm going to do it, and I'll be fine for training camp. And, he said they've played interviews with him before saying, you have a good OTA, you have a good training camp, you have a good regular part of the season, and it kind of snowballs.
Snowball effect, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's right. I think by missing, he might not be it affects the team, sure, but will it affect it in such a way where it doesn't affect you when you take your one of your best corners out of a Super Bowl? Or, like, there are so many other things you could jump on.
So why is Brady not there? Let's ask that question.
Oh, I think he's sticking
Is there a lot of factors from it?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Number one, he's sticking it to
I think he's
Bill
sticking it to
a
Bill.
little bit.
I really do think he's
I think
sticking
it's part
it to
of
Bill.
it.
Yep.
I think it's part of it.
Do you have a different side of it?
I think that's part of it. I think the other part is he's starting to realize that he's getting older. He has a family. He needs to start spending a little time with them instead of. He knows his career is coming to an end, so I think he just wants to take a little time to himself when he can.
And I think Brady's earned that right.
Yeah.
I honestly
And then
could
some.
give two flying you-know-what.
All I got to say is this.
Is Brady
They'll
can kind
put
of
to
do
the
what he
record.
wants to do. If Bill's going to be ticked about it, go tell him to go shove it.
Do you think he? I mean, sure, Bill's ticked about everything, but do you think deep down Bill's like, what if he comes?
I don't think he cares.
Yeah.
I really don't. And I think there's just been so much hype about this story that it's gotten to the point where I feel like there's certain people in the media that are trying to ruin Brady's reputation in his career because they want to knock him down.
Well, they also, I
Which
think
is sad.
They have to make a story. You know what I mean? It's like
It is.
and it's weird. And it's kind of weird because on the radio and other things, people still talk about the Patriots now amidst like the end of the Bruins run during like a Celtics, maybe possibly realistically championship run. I mean, whether you think they're going to win the championship or not, they're in the Eastern Conference Finals with one win away from going to the finals.
Exactly.
And also, you're the second month into the Red Sox season. And also, no one ever talks about, we don't ever talk about, but the Revolution are playing right now, and they're great. Mm-hmm. And actually, they're a fun, if you ever want to go to Gillette, get a ticket there. You can get it for like $20, $25.
It is a fun take. I know a lot of people that go to that and enjoy it.
It's fun. I go with my niece and my wife all the time. It's really nice. But, yeah, maybe not take down, I don't know if it's take down a reputation, but I think it's more, I think that's a byproduct.
They're digging for a story because they have
Yeah.
nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
mean,
why? The Patriots, wait until July.
When
August.
ABC lost the contract with the NHL and they didn't have a lot of stuff to talk about, and LeBron joined the NBA. All it became was Tom Brady and LeBron James, and that's all it ever was. That's all it's ever been since.
It's annoying, doesn't it?
Even
as big fans of Brady here, it's like, you know what? Shut up.
They have
We don't wanna hear it
nothing
anymore.
better to talk about. All I gotta say is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If that doesn't say something about the guy, then you don't
Stick it
deserve
right
to
up
talk
there,
to
just
him.
like that.
What does the guy got to do to...
Like,
no one...
if this doesn't tell you anything about the
Yeah.
guy, then don't talk about him. Like it's just we're done. We're tired of it. We don't like hearing about it anymore. We're in Boston. You need to just stop. Like, he is the GOAT. He is the greatest of all time. If you want to talk about how bad he is of a teammate not showing up to his OTAs, then you're just a hater.
Even if he is a bad teammate right now, I don't think anyone's going to...
They don't care.
I don't think
don't
They
care.
know.
They
They
really
know
don't.
he's a good
gonna be ready
teammate.
to
They
go
know
and
he's
be
a good
prepared
player.
when the season starts.
Yeah,
they know that.
I think, and
he's still getting his work and his training and all that
Sure.
stuff in. So who cares?
which is another fact, as we can say, like his own team, which is always kind of, I love and hate Brady because he's like this. He's like everything you should hate
He's a
about.
god.
Yeah. Well, no, he's everything you should hate about, like the vainness or vanity of humanity. But he's our guy, and he's one of the best. He's the GOAT.
I completely agree with you.
It's
Final
weird.
thoughts for you guys before we wrap up another episode of Face to
A
Face.
cathartic episode.
Go Golden
Shocking
Knights.
one. Yeah, go Golden Knights. Thanks for the memories, Hanley.
Love them Caps.
I mean, you got to say for the memories for Hanley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well.
No, of course.
Hey, who knows? He might be back in another 20 years.
Yeah. Well, no, because he
know.
won 2013, right? He was with us for that run too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
He was
there for
pretty
that,
good. Yeah.
so.
Even 2016. Yeah.
Yeah, 2016.
That was where they lost to the Indians, but it was still a great run.
Yeah, it was a good run.
Ortiz is
It was
last,
definitely
yeah.
a good run. We'll see you next time here on another episode of Face to Facts. Go Celtics, and we'll see you soon.